Let's manifest some plush finds for me in 2025. Friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Lizzie and I'm a Disney plush collector from the UK. So happy Tuesday, I hope you're all having a great start to your week so far. I thought to kick off 2025 I would do a video about some more plush that have become grails for me. They're fairly easy to get if I were to go to America, but I have no plans to go this year, so these are probably things that I won't get until 2026, or I can hope that they come to the UK, because actually since planning out this video I've got 3 of my grails. So if you watched my Christmas vlog from last year, and if you didn't, I will leave a card up above, I'd already started planning this video and I'd put in 3 plushes that I actually had and showed you in that video for my Counting My Plush Collection video. So those were the Winnie the Pooh Hug Me, the Stitch Hug Me, and the Stitch Squishmallow where he's dressed as a Dalmatian. So those were all going to go into this video, but I hadn't filmed it when they came to the UK. So I feel like even planning this video manifested some new plush for me. So I'm hoping that will continue. And some of these could come to the UK, some absolutely won't. But this is the most realistic plush grails video I can give you, because there's plenty of rare ones I'd love to own, but I'm trying to be as realistic as possible, and this is me doing that. So I've got them in kind of little categories. I'm actually going to start with Disney parks, as there's not that many for the Disney parks, to be honest. My main one, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this when I went to Disneyland on my honeymoon last year, was to get the Louis Cuddlies, but because the Princess and the Frog attraction hadn't opened in Disneyland when we went, it wasn't there. They used to sell it in Target. I checked 3 Targets, couldn't find it, but I did get my patch, which was also a grail, so it wasn't a wasted trip to all those Targets. But that Cuddlies is my #1 priority in the American parks at the moment. It won't be in Disneyland Paris because they don't have a Princess and the Frog attraction. It hasn't come to the UK in all the many months that the attraction has been opened in Walt Disney World, so I'm starting to give up hope that it will. But I love Cuddlies. They are my favourite things to collect. If you haven't seen my Cuddlies collection, I will leave it in the description under more videos to watch, but that is the Cuddlies that I really want to get right now. And a slightly less urgent grail, because I actually saw it but it would be incredibly hard to bring home from a trip because of its weight, is the weighted Steamboat Willie plush. So I love the weighted plushes. I've actually got a Stitch one by my bed that I take to bed when I'm feeling particularly anxious and can't get to sleep, and it really helps. And I love this Steamboat Willie one, but I just had a feeling that it would make my suitcase overweight if I were to take it home, so I didn't risk it, because my suitcase is usually quite close to the limit, and I just didn't want to put myself in a situation where I either had to pay for overweight luggage or completely empty my suitcase to move things into Joe's suitcase or something. So I'm really glad I didn't get it in the end, but if it came to the UK I would snap it up straight away. And then actually there's a lot more grails for me at Disneyland Paris. I do have a trip booked, but it's not until later this year, so I have asked some friends to pick these up for me. If you're wondering why some plush are missing from this portion, it's because I've already got them and a haul is coming when they're all with me. So the first one is, do you remember I collect those little small plushes from Disneyland Paris? They started at about 9 or 10 euros. They were 12 euros when I went last March. They're now up to 15 euros, but I still love collecting them. They've got a Remy one, but the problem with the Remy merch, and we saw it with the Big Feet, is that the second a new Remy releases he sells out. So I've asked multiple people to look for him for me and he's just always sold out, so he is like my top grail at Disneyland Paris at the moment. I also love collecting the they're not baby plushes, but they're like plushes in dressing gowns, so they're similar to the baby plushes but they're a bit different. I've got the Sorcerer Mickey, and he was the one I most wanted, but they also brought out a Marie, which I couldn't find, so she is a Grail of mine at the moment. And I found out they've brought out a Winnie the Pooh, so I need that one as well. They've also got a Tigger, which if I could get my hands on that, my dad would love it, but as you know, I don't collect Tigger because my dad's got them all. And I've recently seen that they've got a Mickey Mouse plush who's in a Disneyland Paris spirit jersey. Need that. I don't think they sell the actual spirit jersey, so I couldn't take cute photos where we're matching, but I'll try my best with what I've got. But I absolutely need that plush. And another one that I think is only in Disneyland Paris, but I'm not 100% sure. I've always wanted those Mickey and Minnie gingerbread plushes. Every time I go, it's not actually Christmas, so they haven't got them out, even though they've got a Christmas shop that's open all year round. I think it's just another thing that the second they release, they get sold out. I've looked up a few on Vinted, but some of them actually looked fake, so I didn't want to risk it. So it is something I would prefer to just get myself, but it's about being in the right place at the right time with some of these, unfortunately. And then I thought I would look at other plushes that I know exist, but they're not in the UK just yet, because obviously if I had the means to get them, I just already would. So when we were in Vegas, I took a picture of this really thick Tigger, and I was absolutely obsessed with him, but they didn't have Pooh Bear, and obviously if I bought a Tigger, it would be for my dad, and I'd already bought my dad an Elvis gift from Vegas. But I've done a bit more digging on these, and these are Gund plushes, G-U-N-D. They're from their Oh So Snuggly range, and they've also got a Winnie the Pooh and an Eeyore. So I'm going to set my sights on trying to find those. I think I found one that's available in the UK, but it was like £37. So it might be something I buy with birthday money or something. Yes, we're thinking about my birthday. It's less than 2 months away now. And obviously my dad's birthday is 2 days before mine, so he could have the Tigger and then I could get Pooh and Eeyore. But I do kind of regret leaving him there because he was just so big, so hench. I just absolutely love this style of plush. I didn't know it existed. In a similar vein, you know I love the Stiffs, and it has always been my dream to own one of the proper Stiffs because I've got the affordable Stiffs, but they're like £200 plus. But if I had all the money in the world, I would either buy a Winnie the Pooh or a Mickey Mouse, because I remember they did a Mickey Mouse holding Duffy, which I absolutely loved, or I would buy the Dalmatian. They're always very limited, so it does depend on, you know, if I all of a sudden became a millionaire, which ones are still in circulation in teddy bear shops. But those were the three that came to mind that I would own if I could. In researching this video, I also looked at what Box Lunch and Hot Topic do. Obviously, because I live in the UK and we don't have those stores, I don't shop with them anyway, and would be reluctant to going forward with everything that happened with Dominique Brown. If you don't know what happened, I will leave a link in the description that explains it pretty well. But a Pua pillow pet exists, which shouldn't be too hard to get in the UK because they do sell pillow pets in some toy stores. Admittedly, it's usually independent ones where they've had them shipped in, so it might take a little bit of hunting for it, but I think I could quite easily get my hands on the Pua pillow pet. For example, my Sully pillow pet was from The Entertainer, so it is possible that pillow pets will be sold over here. And Box Lunch have a wave 2 of the Munchlings that they sell. We've only had wave 1 in the UK. They are by Just Play, but in the US they get a light up version and a non-light up version, and in the UK we only get the light up version, but I'm crossing my fingers that we will get wave 2. I have already bought the Sully on Facebook because I had to get it, so this is what the Sully looks like. But in this collection you can get Hey Hey, which I don't think we've had in Munchling form yet, so I need a Hey Hey, and the infamous Wally that in the plastic mini munches, he is like a stack of pancakes, so I need the plush that goes with that. So I'm really hoping that they come to the UK. I don't know whether they did particularly well over here. I know they kept getting reduced. In my January vlog, which is going up on Friday, I opened 5 of them with you because they were down to £4 in Smiths, but I'm hoping that they did well enough and were popular enough that we will see series 2 over here because they've got much better characters in series 2. With that being said, I've only seen the non-light up version. I haven't seen the light up version, and if they do away with the light up version, that probably means we won't get them in the UK. So fingers crossed we see the light up version appear in the US at some point. And then the biggest part of this Grails list is Squishmallows, because as we've seen, America gets Squishmallows first and then we eventually get them in the UK, or at least most of them. So I've managed to get the Kermit Squishmallow in America, but then he came to the Disney store, and I also got Fozzie Bear recently because they came to B&M now. So if you can't get to the US, eventually some of them do come here. So the ones I have my eye on at the moment, and I can't even add them to my Amazon wishlist because they're on Amazon, but it's not that clear until you go to pay for it that's coming from the US. So I'm scared to do that because obviously I don't want to pay enormous shipping for these plushes, but they are available on Amazon. So first of all, we've got the Remy Squishmallow. I feel like this one would be stolen from me by a certain Remy collector, but I just wouldn't allow it. And then also possibly stolen from me would be the Wally Squishmallow. I just think he's absolutely adorable. They've done him really well. And a matching Eve. I don't often collect Eve, but I think she works really well in Squishmallow form. And then we've got a few villains that exist, so I'd really love the Evil Queen. Ursula looks a little bit awkward, but I'd probably still get her if I had the matching Ariel with Flounder. So I'm very specific that I really love this style. So I've got the Sully that has the little boo, and they do a few princesses in this style. I actually really wanted the Elsa that had the little Olaf, but I'll talk a bit later about my Frozen ones because they're in a little bit of a state. But I'd also love the Jasmine with the little Abu. I'd love the Belle with the little Lumiere. I'd also really love Rapunzel, but I haven't seen a version of her that has a little Pascal, so I'd have to get him separately, which I saw on my honeymoon, but he was $25 in Hot Topic and I just didn't think he was worth $25. In this country, they're about £13 if they're a Disney Squishmallow, and they're the standard like 7.5 inch size. So I felt like I was getting ripped off by Hot Topic. They also do a Tiana, which I would love. I don't think she has a version that has like a little Naveen or anything. And I would like an Olaf, but I would specifically like the 5-inch one where he's like this big, because he needs to be smaller than my Elsa and Anna. But my Elsa is bigger than my Anna, and my Anna is the same size as my Sven. So I really need them to be released over here so that I can buy them all in the same size, because it's really driving me insane that they're not the right size. As you will have seen in my what I got for Christmas video, and if you didn't, I will leave a card up above, I did talk about wanting the Mare and the Scary Teddy from the Nightmare Before Christmas collection, because I've just got 4 of those Squishmallows and found out that there's more that I can get. And even though they don't seem to do any other Cinderella ones, I would really love the Gus Gus that they do. And then the final one that I definitely saw on my honeymoon, but again it was $25. It was in the shop where I got Kermit as well. So it was like I've already spent a lot of money here, and Kermit was like 15 I think, or 20, so I didn't understand why this one was 25. I thought it was wrong that he was priced so differently, but I'd really love the Winnie the Pooh dressed as a bee. I'm absolutely obsessed with him dressed as a bee, if you haven't guessed by all of the bee plushes I already have. But I just really want this Squishmallow, but I saw it and I didn't get it and I hate myself for it. And then I've started to get more Hug Me's and get access to more Hug Me's because they've bought the Mickey and Minnie to the UK, but the one I would still really love is the Panda May to go with my Turning Red collection. And then finally, mystery Squishmallows, because we get regular mystery Squishmallows over here, but we've never had the Disney mystery Squishmallows. So I got one on my honeymoon. I got the Tigger, and in that particular wave I really wanted Pooh Bear, but I did see a Stitch and I put it back, and I really regret doing that. But at this point I would just be happy with any of them that isn't a duplicate now. But then when I was looking online, I saw that there's another wave of them, and in that wave you can get Olaf, Piglet, Donald and Daisy, another Stitch, because they love giving us Stitch, and a Marie. So I would really want Marie. And what I love about mystery Squishmallows, and it's the same for the regular ones, they've got little holes on the bottom of the bag. I think it's because some of them are scented, so you can squeeze the scent out, but actually if you shine a light on that hole you can see what colour plush you've got, and you're guaranteed to get the one you want. So I really want them to come to the UK so that I could get the ones I want, but if I found a shop that sold them in the US, US for a decent price, I would just roll the dice and do a mystery unbagging with you. But I really wish I could have got my hands on more of those. It seems that they'd been out a while because I only went to stores that had Tiggers left, and like I said, I saw one Stitch. So it seemed that they'd been out long enough that everyone's got the ones they wanted, and no one wants poor Tigger, which is a shame because I absolutely love him, and he's peach scented, which is one of my favourite scents, so I just love him even more. And those are all I can think of for the moment, so it's actually hard to have Grails really, because we're quite lucky with what we get in the UK. We get a lot from Japan, China and Hong Kong now. We don't get the American Disney park stuff, but because I've just recently gone, I have a lot of what I already wanted. So the Disneyland Paris list is longer than the American parks list because I haven't been since last March. But that is it for my 2025 Grails. If there's anything that you think I'm missing that should be a Grail of mine, let me know in the comments. I would love to know if you've seen a Sully that you don't think I have or anything. But those are my Grails, and I'm hoping by putting this out into the universe, I'm manifesting them to become available in the UK, or at least cheaply for me to get from the US. And maybe by telling you that I'm looking for them, you might have seen them somewhere like eBay or Vinted, and you can let me know, because that is how I got my Tokyo Disney Sully. Someone remembered that I really wanted this plush and they saw it online, they let me know, and I got it. So it is good to tell people about your wish list. It is good to manifest your wish list, and sometimes it will happen for you. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be back on Friday for my January vlog, so I hope you will join me for that. I'm a little bit nervous as it's a new format for me, but I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you on Friday. Bye friends.